So yeah, as most of you know, I've been doing some painting. Been doing it since December. This was a Bob Ross attempt. Turned out okay. I didn't quite like it at first, but it kind of grew on me with the mist in the backgrounds, and my whole connection to from forest to water wasn't so good. And this was before I started putting in initials at the bottom of the painting. But I really liked this one, honestly, and I think it turned out pretty cool. This was a painting I did for it's of Art the Clown, and it's for my adoptive daughter Yukiko, and she loves Art the Clown. So yeah, this was a Christmas / birthday present. Not a fan of clowns. I really don't like clowns, actually. But this is the Mimic. I think you guys have probably saw this video. I think I did a video on this one. I think I could do better. This is also when I was doing some initialing down at the bottom in red, but I kind of wanted to start doing initialing, like signing with a white relief square with the initials, and kind of a Japanese style, with like the red lines and everything for the kanji for the stamp. But this is my own kind of version. So, but no, the Mimic turned out pretty good. I definitely learned a lot. A lot of you did get a chance to see me do the Ecto. I am still not happy with how the Ecto turned out. The car is bent. It's not straight. I would use different I would do it differently if I were to do it again, and I may do it again. But I think this was a learning experience, and I really, really enjoyed this. And of course, you know, I love Ghostbusters, so yeah, this was definitely fun for me. Ball Boy. I have a whole bunch of versions of this and stuff that I wear, and you know, my character in other stuff. So it was a very short leap for me to try to do this. I was very happy to do this, and I think it turned out really, really well. I'm very, very excited. This one turned out pretty good. It's one of it's a favorite of mine, just in general. The first abstract I did, this was Surah Jim. Oh, something online, an abstract that was done with palettes, with a palette, the almighty palette knife, and I think this turned out really good. It's not as good as the original. They started off with lines, but yeah. At first I didn't like it, but it's grown on me. And when it comes to abstract, this is a good painting. Of course, Gur in his puppy costume. This one turned out so good. I had to do just the Gur version. I was given a whole lot of small canvases by a coworker for Christmas, and this was the first one I did on it, and it turned out really good. But of course, when I did, I also started. I also still have my mark at the bottom, and the purple background. I did have to make a few modifications, but this turned out good. So I had to do him on his own. Gur in normal form with the piggies and the tacos. You can't go wrong. I probably should have done a bigger piggy in the background with a bigger taco, but he needed a whole bunch of tacos. We needed hearts and tacos, and it was necessary to do these. And I really like these. These turned out really well. Tonberry King, when I was in Japan, I got a PS2, and I got Final Fantasy VIII, and I played this, and this particular monster took so long to beat, and you had but to get to him, you had to fight so many, and the idea of him popping up was so difficult. But I love the series, and I think this one turned out really good. The Tonberry King is probably one of my more favorite side monsters. To whenever I see it, I'm like, yeah. The candle turned out pretty good too. This one is a nice one. I actually did this by putting painter's tape and doing the mountains first in black, and then I did the white for the caps and everything, and then the forest, and then the original idea was to do clouds, and they didn't turn out very well. In fact, in this particular painting, I wanted to do a flying saucer on the left where the black is in the clouds, and just have like just laser beams shooting down, and have like Godzilla in the background. But I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna fuck with it. This looks okay. I'm just gonna leave it as it is. It's a deep forest painting with mountains in the background. We're good. Not too happy with the clouds, but anyway, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. You guys probably saw this video. I'm not happy with the lines, but I think, above all, I think I did well. I'm gonna try to do Stay Puft again, but honestly, I think this one turned out really good. I would make him a little bigger because there's so much black and green outline background that, yeah. And this is when I started doing the white square with the initials, and that's kind of been my thing ever since. This is one of the earlier paintings I did. It is from a book that I wrote called Moonfall. You can find it on Inkit. Look for Sir Drinks a Lot. And this is the character Pater standing over the horizon, watching the two moons fly high in the sky. And yeah, I to do the moons was difficult. To do the ground justice, it was very, very difficult. And I would do more of a splatter effect for the stars, because this polka dot BS really upset me. But it was early days when it came to painting, and not that I've been doing it for a long time. I've only been doing it for a very short period of time, but it's a learning experience. And as you know, I am Okami Kyodai, and that is Wolf Brother, or rather, since the Japanese have, you can have, brother, older brother, younger brother, older sister, younger sister, or you can have sibling. There's no, and since I am a brother, or I would be a male, I would be known as brother. So Okami Kyodai, I'm the male, I would be older, it would be brother instead of knowing an age. And of course, the ears is on the right is 7 times fall down, on the left is 8 times get up. It's Nanakorobi Yaoki, which means fall down 7 times, stand up 8, and it's one of the things that I really liked. It's one of my sayings that it's one of the old sayings that I just love. I think the kanji turned out really good. The strokes turned out really well. The black on white, the white on the black turned out so well. I was so impressed. I really, really enjoyed that. And it was, the silhouette was difficult to get, but when I finally got it, it turned out amazing. And I had to go back and micro manage the strokes, because my calligraphy is sucky. But I believe it's legible. But this one meant a lot to me. And this one, if any of you watch anime, you would probably recognize Puck, or rather his calamity form. The scene where you see him in this form, he is a spirit, who's a guardian spirit for the main character's love interest, and he can die, and then he kind of returns. He'll die and then come back at basically kind of a save point. Well, this is when his woman dies. Her guardian spirit says, "Oh, you fucked up," and the world is toast. And he's just standing there holding her. He sees this. He has no idea what's going on. He realizes it's Puck, and he basically just freezes, flash freezes to death, and his body falls apart. And this is all he sees, with a castle in the background. And Puck is frightening. But he is one of my favorite characters in the Re:Zero series, and I think this did I think it's did him justice. Wish he would have gotten some more screen time in the later seasons, but he kind of overdid it and has to rest and recoup. But I think he turned out great. Anybody who knows is an anime fan that likes this stuff would recognize Puck. The glowing eyes were kind of a pain in the ass too. They didn't turn out as well as I would have liked, but yeah. And this is my start of my animal collage. I did this background. This is the wolf. This is the first time I also did splatter. Also the last time I did splatter. But the wolf turned out so good and so pretty. And I had a idea of what I wanted to do was to have 6 paintings, 3 with animals facing to the right and 3 with them facing to the left. This was the second one. It was the crow. It turned out really, really well. I love the red eye. The feathers turned out really good. I worried that the feathers would turn out like crap, but they turned out really, really good. I love the background too. The black and green kind of shading turned out so good. And then I did the relief, and then the cat, which is funny because the cat is looking to the right, but his body is facing the left, which to me is pure cat. You know, it's like, I'll do what you want to do, but I'm not going to do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And this one didn't turn as well as I would have liked, but I really liked the background, the orange and the black, and then the black relief, and then I did the lines, the hair and everything. And I didn't like the whiskers. They could have been so much better, but anyway. And then there's the bear, the first in the left pointing. This was just blue. I did a black outline for the bear, and then I put in the shading, the lighter colors, and it just came to life. And this particular painting, I really like how this turned out. This and the wolf are probably 2 of my main favorites when it comes to these. Now the koi fish, the scales. Doing a black koi with white and pink scales, getting the eyes with the right shading in white on black with this pinkish background, getting the fins right and not get screwed up, and the little tendrils on the front, little whiskers. Doing small things, small whiskers is something I'm working on. And of course, the last one was the deer. The antlers aren't as good as I would really like, but they turned out pretty good. I should have put more shading on those, or the light. But I love the way the chest looks with the hair, and it came out really well. This whole series, 6 of these 6 right here, were amazing. I did an abstract. There's a series online. If you look up abstract acrylic, you'll see this. And it's so much. The guy who did this was so much better. I can't remember the name. It was like Roger or something. But theirs is so much better. They also used ink pen, but this turned out so good. I'm so. At first I hated it, but then as I let it sit and kind of marinate in my visual, I love the hell out of this. I later put my initials in the bottom. This is a little before I did that. But yeah, no, this turned out really, really well. And I'm glad this turned out as good as it did. It's a lot of paint though. Oh, I'm talking like thick paint because it was palette knife and stuff like that. So anyway, this is one of my first cartoony kind of ones. I thought about doing Toad, but I figured Yoshi would be just as awesome. I don't like the feet. The nose finally took shape and depth after a while, but getting all the fine lines was difficult, and I need to work on my lining. But this turned out pretty fun. I enjoyed Mutant Mayhem, but I hated Ray Fillet so bad because when I was a kid, I got the comic where Man Ray comes in. So they made this joke of a character, but my friend Kit LaFang loved the hell out of this, and I think she loved it because it annoyed me. The movie was great. The characters are fine. It's just that I didn't like this, but I wanted to do this mostly just to get out my dislike. But anyway, the Among Us character that I take with me on cruises and stuff, the little green guy, I wanted to do a painting of him, and this is just how it turned out. It's not great, But I sorry, I'm very tired. I actually recorded all the audio for this, and then the audio didn't come out, so I'm re-recording the audio. But I like the background blue came out really good, and on the green, it's a good contrast. So, yeah. And of course, you have the Dark Crystal. The Gartham turned out so well, but he was the last bit. It originally was just the crystal and the ground, the symbols and everything from the movie. The crystal is crap. And I don't mean crystal is cracked. I mean the crystal sucks. I could have done so much better, and I didn't, and it sucked. I thought about starting to do the ASMR thing again. Not the ASMR, the acrylic painting again, but I didn't. And I decided there was just so much room over in the left that I needed something there. And I thought, you know what? Put a fucking Gartham. So, yeah. It turned out pretty good. Minus the crystal being a little jacked up. This, I used a new technique where you use Q-tips, cut them in half, rubber banded the ends, dipped the tips in different colors, white and pink and whatever, and did the tree so it's kind of a cherry blossom. And then I did the heather in the bottom, white coming up, the green grass. All that was me, my original or whatever. But I wanted to use that technique, and this is what happened, and it turned out amazing. I am a Ghost in the Shell fan, and one of my favorite characters in any of this TV series, the movies, or whatever, is the Tachikoma. They are fun. They're adorable. I love the hell out of them. And to get the lining and the shading is something that I'm working on. And this took a while to get. It was very difficult. And this is also the first time that I have a white background, so I did the red square and then the name. So it's one of the more recent ones that I did. I really enjoyed this. And of course, Kevin, you said, why not do a painting of yourself? And I'm calling you out, buddy. I did this. And I tell you what, minus not putting in my my Orin because it would have been sitting lower, the glasses are probably the worst thing. They were a pain in the ass. But when I did this, everyone knew who this was. Now, this is from a picture of me, actually, where I had a full beard. I didn't really feel like doing it with just the facial hair that I have now. I was just using that as a reference, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to do it. So, yeah, and it turned out pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised with myself. And this is the last one that I have done. I originally wanted to do a coconut. I did the coconut, and I needed to put the little tendrils up, but I thought, you know what, it's just a coconut on a white background. I need to do more. So I decided to put the pineapple in. Pineapple sucked balls. Oh, pineapple was terrible. I did it by memory. I didn't have any references. I went and found some acrylic references. Then I redid it. It turned out great. And then I decided I needed more, so I put in the umbrella. The umbrella sucked. I kept it. Slight modifications. I put in the line, put in the straw, shading, and I thought about putting a Captain Morgan bottle in the background, but I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not messing with this anymore. It's done. 2 hours later, the lights went out because we had our freeze here in Texas, and then 2 more hours later, a tree fell through my fucking roof. Like, I'm laying down. We're all in the bedroom, all the animals. The door is shut to keep in the warmth because power's out. And yeah, I hear a crash. The door opens to the outside. The dogs rush outside. The cats are like, "What's going on?" I close the door, cover the hole in the. I've got a cat door hole in the door for the cats to come through. I covered that. I walked into the kitchen, and I couldn't get from the kitchen to the rest of the house. It was cold. Ice was dripping through the ceiling. It was scary. This is Slimer Onion Head. You guys watched the video on this. I forgot to put this in the rest of the video earlier on. I don't know why it didn't show up earlier on. Like, I highlighted them all and put it in. But, whatever. This is Slimer. You all watched the video. You all saw me do it. So you know how this turned out. I think it turned out really well. I may try to do the more cartoony version from the real Ghostbusters. But honestly, I think this turned out really good. I think his body should be a bit bigger. He was a bit more of a chunky ghost, but yeah. Anyway, this is one of the ones that I did earlier on, where after I started doing the relief, I wanted to do trees on a red background, but it just didn't. It felt like it was missing something, and I had a light source in the center of there, but I needed something up here, so I put in this little tiger stripe ring. And yeah, no, it actually turned out really amazing. And I was working on my lining, as you can see, my little trees and the little branching and everything that I did, very tiny, turned out really well. So I was pleasantly surprised. Oh goodness! But yeah, so turned out good. But yeah, a very large, well, very semi-large tree fell through my roof. I lost some shot glasses. A roof, a window. As you can see, like I had to walk from I couldn't get out of my bedroom. The back steps are very small; they're not very good, and so I had to cut my way through and push through as it's not snowing, but as it's frozen and icy in the middle of night with no light except my cell phone and a flashlight that I had, and it's frosty cold. You know, and it was scary. It was scary. It was very surreal because I had no power, and the animals were all outside running around in the yard, except for the cats. They were inside, and I had to bag them all up, get them in the car, get them into my grandmother's house that had gas heating that's just around the corner, and finally got everything repaired. Now, this is a picture as it is now. Now the wall over on the side there's now just there's paneling there. So yeah, it looks really, really good. And those lights are dimmable. They're LED. They're very bright. They're very pretty. I'm gonna get a new oven. Not that it's bad, but it's just I mean, it is bad, but it didn't get damaged in the thing. But I felt very, very empty and kind of just it was gut wrenching. But I just did it. I just kept moving. Yeah, it was, I could have been in the kitchen or dining room if it had not been at night. Oh, and I'm just glad the one tree fell on my house and not like a whole bunch of trees, you know? It was scary, but all the animals are good. Everyone survived. We're all happy. And, I'll get back to painting soon, but I wanted to come on here and let y'all know everything that was going on, yeah, so things are going to be a little slow for a while, but I will try to do some more videos and stuff, but the next few months may be a little slow just in general because it cost me a little bit to get this fixed, so yeah. Anyway, as always, I am Sir Drinkslot, and I am wishing you health, wealth, and love with enough time and gusto to enjoy it all down to the last drop. You guys take care, and I will see you later. And, by the way, this is a quick one that I did. I don't know. I think this one actually turned out really well. I wanted to do a doorway, you know, with a door to another world, but I don't know. I forgot to pop this one in. I found it. I figured you guys might be interested in seeing this one. But this turned out really good. I was very impressed with this, and I'm good. I'm trying to get better at like doing the whole mirroring with water. So yeah, I think it turned out good.